I'd spent a few days in Austin visiting friends. Since I live in Louisiana, the drive back is basically an all-day thing. On my last day, while I was packing up, an old friend from high school, Tom, replied to my Instagram story. "When are you heading out?" he asked. "Today," I replied. That's when he told me he lived about an hour outside of Austin, actually right along my route home. I hadn't seen Tom in years. We'd lost touch after graduation, reduced to the occasional like or comment online. The idea of catching up felt nice, almost nostalgic. He invited me to stop by. I put his address into my GPS, 1.5 hours. When I arrived, the house immediately felt off. It wasn't abandoned or falling apart, just old, uncomfortably old. The kind of old that feels preserved rather than lived in. The wooden porch groaned beneath my weight, each step announcing my presence like a warning. When Tom opened the door, a smell hit me. Aged wood, dust, something earthy and stale, like an old hunting cabin sealed for decades. He smiled wide, pulled me into a hug, and for a moment everything felt normal. Some friendships really do survive time. Inside, the house looked frozen in another era. Furniture straight out of the 1970s, faded patterns, scratched hardwood floors that creaked with every step, no matter how lightly I walked. It felt charming at first. Texas rustic, nostalgic, but beneath that charm was a strange heaviness, like the house was listening. We sat in the living room, catching up over whiskey. 5 p.m. turned into night without me noticing. One drink became several. The warmth of the alcohol made the room feel smaller, tighter, like the walls were inching closer. Eventually, Tom said what I was already expecting. "Man, you've got a long drive. Why don't you crash here tonight?" I hesitated, but he was right. I wasn't sober enough to be on the road. He offered the spare bedroom, said it wasn't fancy, but better than the couch. We ordered Chinese food, ate in silence once the alcohol really settled in, and then he led me down a narrow hallway to the guest room. I barely registered the space. I just remember the air, stagnant, heavy, like the room hadn't been disturbed in a very long time. I collapsed onto the bed. Sometime later, I woke up. My mouth was dry, my head throbbed. The room was dark except for thin strips of moonlight leaking through the blinds. That's when I saw it. In the far corner of the room, hanging on the closet door, was something tall and black. At first, my foggy mind told me it was a trench coat, long, heavy, draped over a rack, but the shape was wrong. It had width at the top, like shoulders. The way it hung didn't look like fabric. It looked solid, intentional, like a silhouette pretending to be clothing. My heart started pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I didn't remember seeing it earlier, but I'd been drunk. Maybe I missed it. I rolled over, forcing myself to breathe slowly. It's just a coat. I looked again. Still there. I squeezed my eyes shut and forced myself back to sleep. I don't know how much time passed before I woke up again, but this time it wasn't confusion that pulled me from sleep. It was sound. A slow, deliberate creak, like someone carefully shifting their weight on old wooden floors. My eyes snapped open. Dawn light now filtered into the room. I turned toward the corner. The coat was gone. The space was empty. No rack, no shadow, just the closet door. My body went cold. I sat up so fast my head spun. Fear crawled through me, mixing with the leftover alcohol and turning my stomach. I ran to Tom's room and shook him awake. He was dead asleep, completely unaware. "The coat," I said, breathless. "The black coat in the spare room." He blinked at me, confused. "What coat?" "The one hanging on the closet door. It looked like a person." Tom sat up now, fully awake. "I don't own a trench coat," he said slowly, "and there's no coat rack in that room." We went back to the guest room together. I pointed to the exact spot. It was right there. Tom stared at the empty corner, then at me. He asked if I'd been dreaming. I swore I hadn't. I told him I saw it, twice. We searched the entire house, every room, every closet. Nothing. No signs of anyone breaking in, no coats, no explanation. Tom tried to laugh it off, said it must have been a half-dream brought on by alcohol. I wanted to believe him. As soon as the sun was fully up, I grabbed my things and left. The entire drive back to Louisiana, I couldn't stop thinking about that shape in the corner. The way it looked less like clothing and more like something standing still, watching. Maybe Tom played a prank, but he's never admitted to it. And maybe it was just my mind. Or maybe, just maybe, there was someone in that house that night.